Hi everyone, hope you're doing good. Welcome back to my second ever CD update video. Now, in this video there's going to be a mix of different styles, rock and metal stuff. But yeah, before we get into the video, if you're not subscribed and you like the videos that I've been making, please consider dropping me a sub and checking out the other stuff that I've done on the channel, all the other different sort of content that I've been making. Yeah, so then you're notified of any new videos that come out. And if you go on to like this video, drop it a like. And thanks everyone for watching and subscribing and commenting. Really much appreciated, and all feedback's much appreciated as well. And now let's just get straight into this video. So I've got 7 albums to show you of different styles, and the first one that I'm going to show is Paul Gilbert, Behold Electric Guitar. This come out in 2019. It's his 15th solo album. You lot probably already know Paul Gilbert was in Racer X and Mr. Big back in the day, and ever since the late 90s he's been churning out solo album after solo album, and yeah, this is his 15th from 2019. It come out on Music Theory's recordings. There's the back. But check out some of those song titles. I think they're absolutely mad. Some of them I find pretty hilarious, to be honest. Yeah, but this album is pretty cool actually. I like quite a few songs off this. There's 12 tracks. It's very much in the vibe of sort of a blues, jazz, rock fusion. He gets a band to play on this, so he plays all the guitar obviously, and then he gets Roland Gurin to play bass, Asher Fluoro on keyboards, and then he gets 3 different drummers, sort of a set band. Yeah, and yeah, there's some really cool stuff on it. It opens up quite big. There's the CD. But yeah, the style is very sort of improvised blues, jazzy, rock fusion. Oops. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain to open and close. Not a lot of like shredding like you used to with this guy, but he does do some flashy stuff like every now and again, but not as much as I thought he was going to. But yeah, there's some really good stuff on here. Having it, the opening track's a really cool sort of jam sessions kind of song. Everywhere That Mary Went is really good. Love Is the Saddest Thing's really awesome. My favourite off here is Sir You Need to Calm Down. That song is great. Blues for Rabbit is really cool. The second half kind of falls away a little bit. Quite a lot of the songs are very bluesy, and for me, I think the first half's just a little bit better. But yeah, that's the first one. Paul Gilbert, Behold Electric Guitar. And I also picked up the follow-up that come out this year, Werewolves of Portland. I'm not really gonna go over this one too much because I'm actually gonna do an album review of this, a separate video reviewing it, and that's gonna come out very soon, a couple of weeks. But yeah, this is his 16th solo album, and he plays all the instruments on this, not just all the guitars, the bass, the drums, even the keyboards a little bit. Yeah, he produced it, he done everything on this, and I think that's really cool. But yeah, I think that also come out on, oh no, it come out on something else, come out on the Players Club. I've never heard of that label before, but yeah, that's what it come out on. Yeah, I love Paul Gilbert stuff, and yeah, these are the first two albums I've actually picked up by him, but I'll definitely be getting more in the future. So yeah, the next one I picked up is Jason Becker, Triumphant Hearts. Now, the main reason why I picked this up is, hopefully you can see this, the hype sticker. Look at who he gets to play on this album. That list of names instantly got me interested in listening to this. Loads and loads of awesome virtuoso guitarists. Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Joe Bonamassa, Uli John Roth, Guthrie Govan, Steve Morse, Marty Friedman, Paul Gilbert, Richie Kotzen, Jeff Loomis, Gus G. Even Chris Broderick plays on this as well. Ex-Megadeth guitarist, Chris Broderick. Yeah. But, and I've got to be honest, it's not what I thought it was going to be. You know, listening to them names, I thought that this was going to be an absolute shred fest. But it isn't. Because it's sort of more classical. There's sort of more classical stuff going on. Especially like Triumphant Heart and Once Upon a Medley. They're basically like a classical piece of music that Jason Becker wrote. I don't know if you know Jason Becker, but back in the day, he was good friends with Marty Friedman, and they done this album, their band Cacophony. This is the first one. I was actually gonna get the second one, but I didn't in the end because, well, the two albums that I'm gonna show next were cheaper than that one album, so I thought I might as well just pick them two up, and you know, next time I get CDs, I'll pick the second one up. But yeah, so Jason Becker done this album, and I love this one, and I just thought anything by Jason Becker would be awesome, because that, you know, that whole neoclassical metal shred fest that album is, I thought would be similar with this, but it's like a, I don't know, there's lots of classical stuff on it, but you know what, I still liked it. After you know, the second listen, I thought it was really great. But the thing with Jason Becker is that, you know, he's done that, and he also played on a Dave Lee Roth album as well. But in the mid-90s, he picked up ALS disease, which sort of paralysed him. He can't play guitar anymore. He can't walk. There's some pictures of him there. But he's almost like become this Beethoven, this modern Beethoven, because he creates all these classical pieces and gets guitar players to come and play on his albums as well. Yeah, and to make this album, he raised $100,000 to put this album together, which is unbelievable. It come out in 2018 on Music Theory's recordings. Yeah, there's quite a lot of tracks on here. There's 14, and I'd say a good like 11 of them I like. The first song, Triumphant Heart, is really cool. It sounds like Japanesey kind of style, classical Japanese music. And then Marty Friedman does a lovely solo in the middle. Hold On to Love, I'm not a massive fan of that one. And Blowing in the Wind, that wasn't a massive fan of them. But yeah, Fantasy Weaver is just a classical piece of music, and I think it's great. I do like classical music anyway, so you know, listening to this, I was kind of a bit disappointed because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But then in the end, I kind of ended up really liking it anyway, so it worked out all right in the end. But the song to check out, Valley of Fire, now that is what I thought the whole album was going to be like. Basically one massive shred collab between about 13 guitarists. Absolutely insane song. River of Longing, Guthrie Govan and Joe Satriani play on that song. That is great as well. And then track 11 and track 12, Taking Me Back and Tell Me No Lies, are tracks that he wrote for David Lee Roth's album, but they didn't quite make the cut. It's quite cool to listen to those because they haven't got any vocals over them, so it's quite cool to make your own vocal lines over those songs. But yeah, overall, it's not what I thought it was going to be, but I still enjoyed the album. And yeah, if you like classical music and shred, you'll like this album, I think. Now we're going to move on to something completely different to sort of virtuosic guitar playing. Now we're going to move into some sort of metalcore sort of stuff. Don't switch off just yet. This is Devil You Know, and this is their first album, The Beauty of Destruction. Now, this is Howard Jones's band after he left Killswitch Engage. So if you know Killswitch Engage, this is what he done when he left them. And I tell you, this album is absolutely unreal. It's got some absolutely awesome stuff on this album. But it isn't like proper metalcore. It's sort of half metalcore, half deathcore, with little bits of modern heavy metal in there. Sort of a mix of those things. Come out in 2014 on Nuclear Blast Records. Yeah, so it's sort of a mix of different styles on here. So yeah, metalcore, deathcore, heavy metal, just sort of traditional modern heavy metal, all put together. Really, really cool. Every song kind of sounds different. So yeah, Howard Jones on vocals, Francesco Artusato, I never get it right. Yeah, Francesco Artusato on the guitars, and he plays bass guitar as well. And he was in a deathcore band, All Shall Perish, before they sort of didn't do anything. Yeah, so he has that deathcore influence, but also he has kind of progressive and all sorts of different influences. And John Sankey on the drums. Yeah, don't know who he is, but yeah. And yeah, this album is great. There's some really, really good stuff on here. A New Beginning, that's awesome. My Own, yep. Embracing the Torture, brilliant. 7 Years Alone's really cool. It's Over is really good. A Mind Insane is insane. I Am the Nothing is really, really cool. And then it ends with As Bright as the Darkness, and that is a very different vibe to the rest of the album. But still really, really cool. Still really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's the first album that Devil You Know done. And I also picked up the follow-up that come out a year later, They Bleed Red. They're also on Nuclear Blast. And this, I think, is even better than the first one. This has got some awesome stuff on it. I think they get a bass player in, a proper bass player in for this, but I can't remember his name. And I can't be, maybe I can have a look. Let's have a look. Ooh. Yeah, that's it. Ryan Wombacher. Sounds a bit strange. But, yeah, he plays bass. And yeah, I think this is even better than the first one. Yeah, we've got Consume the Dam, that is awesome. The Way We Die, Your Last Breath, Stay of Execution, Shattered Silence is really, really great. Master of None is awesome. How the End Shall Be, Broken by the Cold. But also I got the special edition of this album, so it comes with a couple of bonus tracks. And yeah, Eye of the Tiger, that is correct. They do a cover of Survivor's Eye of the Tiger. It's almost like the metalcore version. But, you know, Howard Jones has got previous with doing sort of 80s metal covers and turning them into metalcore, because Killswitch done a brilliant Holy Diver cover, and that's awesome. But that one is really, really great as well. And then I Am Alive, that's an acoustic song, and it's actually really, really great. I'm not really a massive fan of too many acoustic songs, but that one is brilliant. And then We Live at the end is just a bit frantic. But yeah, definitely check this one out. But see, after they done this album, they changed their name and they changed their style. They changed their name to Light the Torch, and they sort of done more sort of alternative metal and sort of modern metalcore. And I'm not a massive fan of modern metalcore. I think it sucks. And yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of that stuff. But the Devil You Know stuff is brilliant. So definitely check these two out. But certainly this one, because it's great. And the last two albums I'm going to show, my dad actually brought these, but I thought I'll show them because I've been listening to them as well recently, are the two Killer Be Killed albums. So I'm going to start with the first one. This is self-titled. This come out in 2014 on Nuclear Blast. There's the track listing. And yeah, this is the metal supergroup of Max Cavalera, ex Sepultura, and Soulfly. Greg Puciato, ex Dillinger Escape Plan. Troy Sanders and Mastodon, and then this one's got Dave Ellich of, I can't remember the band, but he's in a hardcore punk band. And yeah, this album is brilliant. It's got so much rage and so much anger, and I absolutely love that. Yeah, the songs, you know, Wings of Feather and Wax, brilliant. Face Down, fantastic. Snakes of Jehovah has got that real Dillinger sort of vibe to it. Curb Crusher, Fire to Your Flag, IED is one of my favourites on here. Dust into Darkness, Forbidden Fire. All of it is just absolutely brilliant. I love the rage on this. It's sort of groove metal, but with other influences in there. It's mainly groove, but like there's some real heavy moments. There's some hardcore punk. There's a little bit of progressive, a little bit of alternative. You know, a little bit of metalcore, bit of everything in here. And yeah, this album is absolutely brilliant, and I love it. The follow-up, this come out last year in 2020, and this actually made my list for the top 20 albums of last year. I do think it's really, really good, but for me, the first one's just a little bit better than this. I don't know, there's something about this album that I'm not a massive... I do like it, but I don't think it's as good as the first one. There's still some really good stuff on here, though. Yeah, they changed drummers. They have Ben Collar on here for this. Yeah, this is Reluctant Hero. Come out on Nuclear Blast again. Yeah, they sort of changed their sound a little bit. It's not as angry and not as heavy as the first one. It's sort of, I don't know, they kind of mellowed out a little bit. They've still got that heaviness, but it's not as apparent on the first one. But yeah, Deconstructing Self-Destruction is really cool. Drink Gone Bad's pretty good. Inner Calm from Outer Storms. Filthy Vagabond. From a Crowded Wound is really cool. That's a bit Mastodon-y, that song. Yeah, Dead Limbs is alright. Comfort from Nothing is it's alright. But yeah, there's a couple of tracks on here I'm not a massive fan of, and it's sort of, yeah, it's a bit more kind of, it's a little bit more alternative than the first one, I'd say. A little bit more sort of progressive and a lot less angry, which I'm not that massive fan of, but still pretty good. Still good to have both of these albums. They've only done these two. So, yeah. So that has been my little CD update. I'd love to know your thoughts on all these albums that I've shown, what you think of them, or if you've heard them, or whether you will check them out now, because that would be really cool if you go check them out if you haven't already. And yeah, I've got lots and lots of stuff planned for the coming weeks. I'm going to start to come back and doing more consistent content. Yeah, every videos coming out every Wednesday and some at the weekends. So yeah, hopefully you'll be hyped for that I'll be officially coming back soon and doing lots more stuff. I've got the motivation back, and I thank everyone for their support and everything recently. So let's come back even stronger now. And yeah, until the next video, keep it metal.